Imagine waking up tomorrow with complete freedom. No alarm clock forcing you out of bed, no boss telling you what to do, no schedule controlling your life. You decide how you spend your time, what you work on, and how much money you make. For most people, that sounds like a dream. But the truth is, that dream is built on three simple things: financial freedom, time freedom, and creative freedom. And there is one path that consistently gives people all three: starting a business. But the moment people hear that, a huge question appears in their mind. That sounds great, but what business should I start? Most people never start because they feel stuck at that exact point. They think business ideas come from genius inspiration or some magical moment. But the truth is much simpler than that. In fact, if I had to start from zero in 2026, the process I would follow is incredibly straightforward. Before we dive in, make sure you subscribe to the channel if you enjoy videos about building income, improving your mindset, and creating freedom in your life. Most people watch these videos but never actually apply them. And this channel exists to help you become someone who does. Now let's start with the biggest misconception about business. Most beginners think a business starts with a product. They say things like, I want to build an app, or I want to create a clothing brand, or I want to sell something online. But starting with the product is actually one of the biggest mistakes people make. A real business is built on something much simpler. Think of it like a triangle with 3 points. The first point is a person, the second point is a problem, and the third point is a product or service that solves that problem. That's it. Every successful business in the world follows this exact structure. Someone has a problem. You provide a solution. They give you money in exchange for solving that problem. Money at its core is simply an exchange of value. Nobody gives you money unless you help them in some way. So if you want to build a business, the first thing you need to think about is not the product. Instead, you need to ask 2 questions. Who is the person, and what problem do they have? Once you understand those 2 things, the product becomes obvious. Now here's where most people overcomplicate things. They try to find the perfect idea immediately, but creativity doesn't work like that. Instead, the smartest entrepreneurs follow a 3-stage process. First comes divergence. This is the messy stage where you generate as many ideas as possible. No judging, no overthinking, just ideas. Lots of them. Then comes convergence. This is where you start narrowing things down. You eliminate weak ideas and focus on the few that seem promising. And finally comes emergence. This is when the real business idea reveals itself through experimentation and action. But everything starts with that first step: generating ideas. And one of the best ways to do that is by looking at something you already have: your skills. Think about the things you already know how to do. Maybe you're good at video editing. Maybe you understand social media. Maybe you're good at organizing things, solving problems, fixing computers, designing graphics, or explaining complex topics in simple ways. Your job might already be paying you for a skill you take for granted, but to someone else, that skill could solve a huge problem. For example, someone who knows how to build websites can help businesses that need an online presence. Someone who understands automation can help companies save hours of work. Someone who knows video editing can help creators grow their channels. When you start listing your skills, something interesting happens. You begin to see potential connections between people, problems, and solutions. But skills are only one piece of the puzzle. Another powerful source of business ideas is your passions. These are the topics you naturally spend time on, the things you enjoy learning about, the communities you are already part of. For example, maybe you're passionate about gaming, fitness, cooking, technology, or personal development. Even if those passions don't seem like obvious businesses at first, they can reveal opportunities. because every passion has people inside it. And where there are people, there are always problems waiting to be solved. Now, here's another mindset shift that can completely change how you think about business. You don't actually need to start with skills you already have. You can build a business around skills you want to learn. For example, maybe you want to learn artificial intelligence tools, digital marketing, copywriting, or graphic design. Instead of learning randomly, you can learn those skills while solving real problems for real people. This approach turns learning into income. But here's where things get really powerful. Instead of thinking about random strangers on the internet, start with people you already know. Your first customers are often much closer than you think. Think about your friends, family, coworkers, or people in your local community. Some of them own businesses. Some of them work in industries that constantly face challenges. Some of them might be struggling with problems you already know how to solve. For example, maybe your friend runs a small business, but their website looks terrible. Maybe a local shop needs help with social media. Maybe someone you know struggles with productivity or organization. Those are opportunities. In fact, many successful entrepreneurs made their first money simply by solving a problem for someone they already knew. They didn't build some huge startup. They didn't raise millions in funding. They just helped someone fix a problem. And that's the secret most people miss. A business doesn't start as a massive company. It starts as a simple exchange between two people. One person has a problem, the other person solves it. If you can repeat that process again and again, something incredible happens. Your income grows, your skills improve, your network expands, and slowly that small idea turns into a real business. So if I were starting from zero in 2026, I wouldn't wait for the perfect idea. Instead, I would write down a long list of skills I have, passions I enjoy, and skills I want to learn. Then I would look at the people around me and ask a simple question. What problems do they have that I could help solve? Because once you find the right combination of person, problem, and solution, the business idea practically builds itself. And here's the most important thing to remember. You don't need the perfect plan to start. You just need the first customer. Because once that first person trusts you enough to pay for your solution, everything changes. Your confidence grows, your ideas improve, and the path forward becomes clearer. If you found this video helpful, comment below with one skill you have that could potentially solve a problem for someone. You might be surprised how many business ideas are already hidden in the things you know how to do. And if you want more videos about building income, developing powerful skills, and creating a life with real freedom, make sure you subscribe and share this video with someone who's been thinking about starting their own business. Because the truth is simple, the opportunity is everywhere. Most people just haven't trained themselves to see it yet.